Hello and welcome. It is Debs here, and as usual, it's great to have you with me. And those of you who are observant among you will see that Bec is here with me too. We are fresh back from the conference that we ran on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday last week. Don't know when you're watching this, so it might not be then. But anyway, it was the most mind-blowing, out the park, amazing conference. And so I invited Bec here and said, why don't we discuss some of the things that happen in that room potentially to, the best of our ability. And I wanted to start off by reading this. This was a post that Bec shared on Facebook. And I just believe these words sort of came to you after the magic of those days. So I'm going to share this, and then we'll just have a little bit of a discussion about the conference. And as always, do feel free to add any comments or ask questions below this video, because we love it when you do that. So, the conference that changed me. There is a magic that lives within me. When I'm in the room amongst others who are looking to explore that magic too, it comes alive. On the face of it, it looks like the speakers say wonderful words, and they do, and that changes something. What happens is far more magical than that. Sure, the speakers say great words, and they really do. But more than that, what happens is that I arrived in that room ready to hear something new, ready for change, ready for magic. Even when I don't know, I am ready. Even when I think I don't need any real changes right now. Even when I already know what the speakers are going to say. By choosing to be in the room, I have declared myself open. And that declaration is heard. The universe responds. Ask and it is given. There is power in purposely setting aside time and immersing myself in the space created. This year's conference has been one of the most powerful I have ever attended. I heard people whisper the phrase, life-changing. That doesn't even begin to capture it. That is not overstating what happened for me. My life has changed, and not in a, well, 'cause sure, it's 3 days later, so life is different way, but in a real roots upwards way. My life is different now. My heart is different now. My mind is different now, and my body is different now. Something changed for me. Something changed when you said, don't you want to be the best at what you do? Something changed for me when you asked, what happens when there are no bananas? Something changed when you pointed out, it's all inside you. Something changed for me when you cried. Something changed for me when you reminded me, religion doesn't own God. Something changed in me when you smiled. Something changed when you cracked a joke. Something changed in me when you closed your eyes and listened. Something changed in me when you told me that was the best I have ever heard in the entire world. Something changed in me when you said, yes, something changed when you told me I needed that. Something has changed in me, and it will never be the same again. I laughed, I cried, I sang, I danced, I spoke, I listened, I heard, I cried and cried again. I changed. Wow.
It was really nice to hear my words back there, because I wrote that as we were recording this video. I wrote that last night, which was 2 days after we'd got home from the conference. And when I first started, it just popped into my head to write something, because I'd heard a number of people at the end of the 3 days say, I can't put into words what's happened. I can't put into words what's gone on in these 3 days. And I'm both a writer and a speaker, and the same thought was going through my head. I can't put this into words. And then I thought, yeah, I can. It might not completely capture it. You might, I don't know how powerfully that comes across for me and for Deb, who were in the room. We felt that as Deb was sharing it. But I know for me what I kind of sat down to write that, what I wanted to do was put it into words, because somehow as human beings what we have is words. That's how predominantly we kind of, words and body language, that's how we kind of communicate, isn't it? definitely over those 3 days, the 30 or so people that were in the room were impacted. Like, I don't think there was anybody I spoke to that didn't say some version of, wow, that changed me, that's big, how do I share this? You know, people were impacted. And one of the reasons that we do the events that we do, and particularly the conference, is because not only does it impact other people, as you can tell from my words, it impacts me. I have changed. I am a different person to who was sitting here last week, and in some respects I can't put that into words, but in other respects I can. I watched things unfold over those few days, both for me personally and for other people in the room. I watched people open up to the possibility of them being more than what they've been so far. I watched somebody share something that was so big for them, so much heart-wrenching situation for them, and then I watched them walk back into the room the next day lighter, like they felt something shift in them. And somehow, one of the lines I put in there is something about when you purposely spend 3 days or however many days you get to do that, but for us it was 3 days. When you purposely do that, you give yourself permission to be different, to change, to allow something new to come. And I know for us it's really important where we're sitting today, off the back of the conference that's now gone, and it's a little less than a year until the next time we do that again. It's important to us to be clear that we're going to be in that room again, we're going to be showing up again, and it will be that impactful and more, because that is how this works. And I don't know, Deb, if you want to share a bit more about what that is for you, and we'll make sure the information's below for the next conference, because clearly you don't want to miss it.
Clearly you don't. It really, really is difficult to describe the impact. We deliberately do our conference for 3 days, and we deliberately don't do day tickets so that you are in the room for that 3 days, because there is something, even if you think you know this, even if you think, you know, you've been around this kind of thing, you've been on your spiritual journey for 10 years or whatever, and yeah, I already know this. There is no end to where we can go in this conversation. There isn't a time when you know this and there's nothing new and nothing more to know. And one of the things when we come in a room like that, I think it takes the first day, the first bit of the time we're together, it takes that for us to get out of our heads. And even when we think we are not in our heads, it's really surprising how much we are, and how much we are in this place of, yeah, I know, like in that, what I read there, it said, some of it was, even when we think we know what the speakers are going to say, even when we think we know all of this, we hear something more deeply when we have that time, when we take that time out of our lives to absolutely look in this direction and see what there is to see. It was unbelievably beautiful to watch people in that room change before our eyes. And there were some people in that room that we have known for a few years, and people were really talking to each other about, wow, do you remember the first time you ever came? Or do you remember, you know, I remember first meeting you, and the person that I met is no longer this person. And one of the reasons I know sometimes in some of my videos I share things about having to die to be alive, and I know in spiritual teachings, you know, it talks a lot about those kinds of things, and having to let go of who we are to be something new. And that is basically what we witnessed in that room, and that is basically what has happened to us. It's like we have let go of who we were even a week ago to become something new and different. So there is immense power in what is being shared in all the videos on this YouTube channel and in that room. But there is something, as human beings, as creatures who like to get together, you know, as the one being that we are, when we come together in this way, there is something supremely powerful that happens when you have speakers who are so heart connected and can point so beautifully in this direction. Because make no mistake, this isn't about any of our speakers. This isn't about any spiritual teacher. You know, this isn't about Sydney Banks or Muji or Byron Katie or any of those people. This is very much about what is being pointed to you. This is about you. This is about what is inside you. You are the special ingredient here.
So be in the room next year. It's a no-brainer, really, isn't it? And we've got early bird tickets available at the moment, so check out below the video to find out about being there, because as you can tell, it's pretty powerful stuff.
It is indeed. Okay, take care. Bye.